begin your look at sports on the ice, where the New York Rangers are now in position to close out their first-round series after a thrilling victory Thursday night in Montreal. Zibanejad scored at 14:22 of overtime to give the Broadway Blue Shirts a 3-2 win over the Canadiens in Game 5 of their first-round playoff series. The Rangers, which opened this series with a win, dropped Games 2 and 3 before swinging the series back in their favor in Game 4 at home. Rick Nash was the hero. We go inside the locker room for the game that turned the series.
Obviously, it's a nerve-wracking and exciting when it's just a one-goal game, but even though you feel like you have things under control, you know, they have some skilled guys who can make one play and it's a tie game. So it was great to see the way we battled and the jump we had when the game started. It was something we talked about and we executed.
If you're playing simple and playing smart, making that first pass, it's pretty easy to, you know, not get in trouble. So when you try doing too much or making the cue play, it sometimes comes back to high end. And I think we've done a pretty good job recently of just making that first play when we see it.
Yeah, it was great. I was pretty pumped up. It was a great pass by Ryan to see me go into the net and just tucked it between his 5 points. It was a tight game, but you know, when there's penalties, we need our special teams to step up and take control.
We talked about just trying to move our feet, force that demon, maybe make the play quicker than he wants to. Just got to continue to play consistent here and keep playing with that bite and that edge.
Our BronxNet cameras will be in the building Saturday night for Game 6. The Rangers up 3-2 can close it out at Madison Square Garden. They would face Ottawa or Boston in the next round. From the ice to the diamond, the Philadelphia Phillies capitalized on an error by untested first baseman Jay Bruce Thursday night in a 6-4 win over the Mets at Citi Field. Ironically, Bruce has been carrying the Amazons otherwise, at least offensively. He homered twice and drove in 5 runs, including a tie-breaking shot in the 8th inning that sent the Mets to a 5-4 victory over Philadelphia on Wednesday night. Mets have been far too inconsistent despite some solid pitching performances. They've been losing a lot of 1-run, 2-run games of late. To make matters worse, Mets slugger Yoenis Cespedes limped off the field with a hamstring cramp and exited the game last night. And Mets third baseman David Wright, who is still recovering from neck surgery, was shifted to the 60-day disabled list on Thursday. The Amazons will have Washington this weekend in Flushing. The Mets activated closer Jeurys Familia before Thursday night's game against Philadelphia after Familia served a 15-game suspension for violating MLB's domestic violence policy. He'll be a welcomed addition to the back end of that bullpen. Here in the Bronx, things are just dandy. Aaron Judge might have listened to the C-list. The young slugger is following through on his gigantic promise. Judge is wasting no time showing off his power in New York. He is already responsible for 2 of the 3 longest home runs hit at the new Yankee Stadium, which opened in 2009. One shot went for 457 feet, the other 451. Meanwhile, the Bronx Bombers finished an 8-1 homestand with a 9-1 win over the White Sox on Wednesday. Per the Elias Sports Bureau, New York has had 8 or more wins in its first homestand of a season only 3 other times: 1922, 1926, and 1987. Here's more with the streaking Yankees.
That's what this team's about. You know, it's about 25 guys pulling the same rope, getting the job done. We all know if one guy doesn't get it done, we just got 24 guys behind him about to get the job done for him. So it's been fun this year. We just got to keep it rolling and just get ready for tomorrow.
Everybody just continue doing like what we're doing. We feel everybody, me in particular, I feel pretty good, and all the teammates feel pretty good too, and the starting rotation been doing good, and the bullpen too.
We have a lot of talent and playing well as a team. Our starting pitchers have given us a chance to win, and our young guys have played really well. And we've found ways to win different ways. And like I said, our starting pitching has kept us in games, and our bullpen has been locked down, and it's been a good success, been a good recipe.
We're just going out there and competing. I think that's the biggest thing. We didn't get down that we got, Sanchez is injured, Didi's injured. But we're just out there trying to compete. When you do that, anything can happen.
Get the next guy the ball and start playing another game. It's kind of how it is now. You get into a routine, you get into stuff that just keeps working for you. And you got another guy going tomorrow. It's been tremendous, and it's just hand the ball to the next guy, give the bat to the next guy, and let's keep rolling.
8-game win streak may have been snapped, but the Yankees look like they're ready to start another. Former Yankee captain Derek Jeter might be ready to start another chapter in his baseball career. It's long been rumored that he's had interest in ownership. Jeter and Jeb Bush could be teaming up to buy the Miami Marlins, according to reports. The retired Yankee star and former Florida governor reportedly have joined forces in their pursuit of the team. In other baseball news, Pittsburgh outfielder Starling Marte tested positive for PEDs and will serve an 80-game suspension. He's one of the game's rising stars. Nice moment for Ichiro in Seattle this past week. The former Mariner and Yankee, now a reserve with the Miami Marlins, homered in what could be his final game in Seattle. The reigning champion Chicago Cubs have asked non-players within the organization to sign an agreement giving the team the right to buy back World Series rings for $1. According to ESPN's Jesse Rogers, the arrangement is meant to discourage non-players from selling their rings elsewhere. The Cubs handed out 1,908 rings, 1908, and paid taxes on them for many of the lower-level employees who received them. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. On the hardwood, LeBron James recorded his 17th career postseason triple-double, second most all-time. First is Magic Johnson with 30. James propelled the Cavaliers to an historic comeback Thursday night. The Cavs topped the Pacers 119-114. They trailed by 26 points at one point in the game. The reigning champs now lead Indiana 3-0 in that series. Kristaps Porzingis said he loves New York, but stopped short of explaining why he skipped out on exit meetings with the Knicks management following a turbulent season. Kristaps said he's going home to play for his national team this summer. With Derrick Rose likely to leave in free agency, the Knicks would do themselves a favor by drafting De'Aaron Fox. If he improves his jumper, the Kentucky standout could be a star in the NBA. Knicks will likely draw the 7th pick in the draft. The Giants will open the season on Sunday Night Football in Dallas. It's the 3rd straight year they open at the Cowboys and the 5th time in 6 years they meet in Week 1. A few thoughts on the Jets' schedule, meanwhile. They open with back-to-back road games for the first time since 1992. They have only one primetime game. The NFL is likely forecasting another tough season for Gang Green based on that schedule. Giants QB Eli Manning said he's done nothing wrong and has nothing to hide after being accused of memorabilia fraud. As for former Giants QB Phil Simms, he's headed to CBS Studio for NFL Today. The veteran CBS broadcaster will join the network's NFL Today cast for the upcoming season. Tiger Woods, who hasn't played a competitive round since early February, has had his 4th back surgery since March 2014. It may be time for Tiger to consider retirement due to injuries. Aaron Hernandez's death in prison has been ruled a suicide, and the former NFL star's brain is being donated to sports concussion researchers. Massachusetts authorities said Thursday the declaration by prosecutors, state police, and public health officials came after a tumultuous day in which Hernandez's lawyers suggested the state was mishandling the investigation and illegally withholding his brain after releasing the rest of his body to a funeral home. Authorities said the medical examiner had ruled cause of death was by hanging. Hernandez's death coincidentally coincided with the New England Patriots meeting President Donald Trump at the White House to celebrate their Super Bowl victory. On to better news, Ronda Rousey and Travis Brown are getting married. The two UFC stars got engaged in New Zealand. Don't mess with that couple. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for an overdue C-list. A couple of weeks ago, I wanted to add Georgetown's announcement that Patrick Ewing was coming home to be the men's basketball head coach to the Roundup, but I decided I would salute the big fella with a C-list instead. Ewing, 54 years old, joins Chris Mullin of St. John's as the only Division I head coaches who are Hall of Famers as players. Both schools are in the Big East Conference. I have long championed Ewing to be a head coach. The Knicks legend will now get a chance to restore his alma mater to greatness. I think he will be successful. This is the right first step for him. Ewing, who has been the associate head coach of the NBA's Charlotte Hornets, I believe will one day be a head coach in the NBA. But don't be surprised if that moment takes a while. He's waited a long time for his NBA title, and although the Knicks made the finals twice on his watch, they came up short. Outside outside of that, Ewing is really nothing but a winner in his playing career and has been pretty successful as an assistant in the NBA, especially working with big men. Ewing is a Georgetown legend who played from '82 to '85, guiding the program to 3 national championship game appearances and 1 title. He went on to have a Hall of Fame career in the NBA, playing 15 of his 17 years in the pros with the Knicks. Ewing is also a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. At Georgetown, he'll finally get the chance he deserves. Sometimes it takes going home again to find your way. Perhaps Knicks fans can dream that one day Patrick will be the head coach in New York and fulfill a promise that just escaped him as a player. As long as Michael Jordan is not around, we'll be okay. Congrats to Patrick Ewing. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.